Hi guys, it seems you people are getting a bit bored of my gaming content, and I can see that, so I'm going to do something different. Here I present top 5 great final bosses. These are final bosses in video games, which I think are good. Now, there's not really any rules for the bosses that I've picked. I've played all these games and where the bosses are from. I don't really want to get into the intro, let's just get straight into the juice. Now, how do I start off my list of bosses, you may be wondering? Super Smash the Bros, of course. Now, here I have a lot of options for bosses to pick. You have Giga Bowser from Melee, Master Hand and Crazy Hand, and Master Core from Smash 4. However, we do not talk about him, and the plethora of bosses that Smash Ultimate brings. Now, while I was listing those bosses, I did a thing. I missed out one of the bosses, and you see, that is our number 5 spot, one of the members of the Blue Man group. Now, where do I start with Tabuu? First of all, Tabuu is a pretty cool name for a final boss, and second of all, he is the thing behind the thing in the lore that crickets can't understand. Tabuu's main objective as a member of the Blue Man group is planning to cut the world in half, but he's too lazy to do that because he couldn't leave his living room located in space. So he summoned an army of Rob the Robots to be space terrorists by bombing the place with black hole explosives. He has a wide range of attacks, going from teleporting around the arena like a dingus to giving you the belt. Now, my favourite part of this boss fight is the music, because the composers made it sound like you're going to church. Round of applause to you, composers. Your effort is praised. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, one of his attacks is an instant KO, so you might want to look out for that. And his background is giving me a hypnosis session just by looking at it. Anyway, nice boss, bro. Take a cookie. Now, imagine building up a character throughout your journey only for it to try and force you to become it while being terribly powerful. May I bring Omori from Omori to the table? Now, listen to me, this boss makes Tabuu's world domination look like a suggestion, because this version of you is trying to turn you into the quiet kid and guilt rides you for the rest of your life because of your dead sister. Oh yeah, the reason this Swiss cheese muncher exists somehow is because of your dead sister, who you accidentally killed. However, I won't go much into this because 1. Spoilers, 2. Psychological horror, and 3. I don't want to be here for 7 consecutive days explaining the complicated lore behind this game. Now, you're probably wondering, Sockham, how do I kill this thing? Well, that is a simple question to answer, and the answer is to die to it and lose your No, actually, you need to migrate to northern Italy, buy a violin with the 8 chroma in your balance and play it directly into his ear until it becomes deaf. Yes, you heard me clearly. But first, you need to look vulnerable by losing the fight and then pull out the Blue Eyes White Dragon to distract him, and do the following instructions I just explained to do. He will not be able to hear you taking the mick out of him. Jokes aside, this boss makes Tabuu's theme look like a nursery rhyme because Omori's theme will be replacing the Among Us trap remix and the British national anthem in my depressed playlist. He also has 6 phases, each of them making him even more of a 4chan creepypasta until he takes you to a new battle background and proceeds to shank you with his knife like someone on the streets of London and attack you with whatever special edition Jenga blocks these are. Also, the start of this boss fight is beautiful. You're in white space as your real self, and then after looking around a little bit, he sees you and does some sort of on-guard action while staring you directly in the eyes. Plus, if he didn't sound like a sour coke bottle enough, he taunts you in the fight basically by insulting you in a very, very dark manner. Now, there are 2 ways to end this fight after he beats you into oblivion. 1, you could give up the fight and become the quiet kid, or you can use the deafening tactic from earlier and start playing an orchestra with your dead sister, and deafen him even more until he just pieces out and you win. It took 7 years for this boss to be brought into the world, and it makes Tabuu look like a Windows Vista computer. It's a very, very good boss, and I praise it a lot. But wait, there's more. Undertale is a masterpiece. I'm just going to start with that. There are 3 potential final bosses, however, you can get to. And they are the Dude Skeleton, the Bullet Hell Goat, and oh wait, where did the other one go? Omega Flowey is what happens when you give a flower a Discord mod, and he gains the power of the Green Ninja from Ninjago. This boss makes Omori look like a children's horror game because this flower has arsenal wall hacks and can break the 4th wall and load up save files without your consent. Now, if that didn't scare you already, then the boss's design definitely did, because he looks like if Satan was inbred. He makes Omori look like a joke because he has the 6 Infinity Stones compared to the Carrot Cutter. Now, this boss's attacks shouldn't even be called attacks. Let me explain. He uses the power of the Green Ninja throwing shurikens at you. He extends out his arms wider than Wide Putin. He channels his inner arsonist, bombs an entire nation, and gives you a hand by shooting finger guns. And he produces a scream so loud that, oh wait, no, it's not a scream, it's a laser. So yeah, somehow despite all of this, you with your 1 Infinity Stone hands him his death on a silver platter by taking the stones from him, and while cosplaying as Iron Man, snap him out of existence. Now that's the boss explained, let me explain the music. It's manic, it feels like you don't know where you go because you do not know how to do area design. And the music is called Your Best Nightmare, which is a bit of a joke, but I'm not laughing, so I do not classify it as a joke. Overall, this boss makes Omori's Quiet Kid Therapy a suggestion, because Flowey manipulates save files, which makes him built different. However, wait, there's more. Now, this boss is what happens when you become more power hungry than Flowey. Instead of turning into Thanos, you gain the arcane ability to literally be a slug inside of a god. Ladies and gentlemen, I present our next boss. What makes this boss a good boss is the fact he's not the final boss. I know, right? Not the final boss on a final boss list. Oh my goodness great. The final boss is actually him, but as a slug, which I could probably find in my back garden. And the thing that you're fighting, the Old King, is actually some sort of demonic clone. And the slug you could just beat with a stick, but the Old King you have to like gracefully dodge out of the way or something. Now, the attacks you have to avoid are the following. Dashing around the arena like a Fortnite player on G Fuel. A massive AoE by flashbanging the player, a jump attack which according to the wiki he's a bit of a furry for doing, spamming you with a sword attack, and using a Kamehameha wave to steal an in-game level from you instead of blasting you to death. Yes, that's a boss mechanic. So you're probably wondering, how do I beat this psychopath? Well, the answer is, oh wait, you can't run because he dashes towards you even if you're running, he kinda homes in on you. Now, the lore states that because of his lust for power, he made friends with a literal god and got a lot of power, so he made the thing that you're fighting. However, it turned the real him into a slug, and he kinda just chills inside of that god. Also, those wings he has behind him the entire fight make him look cool, and his walk animation is like some sort of JoJo character. I like this boss very much, and I praise it for being a great Souls boss, and also the intro. Yeah, it's great. However, there is somehow a better boss than this at number 1. Now, imagine Old King Allant if he was a Lovecraftian and named after a country in Europe and has every ability you do. Oh yeah, this is another Souls boss. Get your bait. Now, this boss does everything Allant does, but makes it look like a suggestion. This boss happens because of a choice you made at the end of Bloodborne, so also keep in mind that this boss is completely optional. If you chose to be submissive and hand over your life to Gerhman, he beheads you and brings you back to life. Yeah, I don't get that part either. If you refuse, however, he counts that as an insult and gets out of his wheelchair he's been in for the entire game, curing his paralysis, and plus, you didn't even need to give him stem cell treatment. And he busts out a giant scythe like it's nothing. His lines give me the chills though, in a good way that is, because while he's saying all his like monologue and stuff, he says one of the most iconic lines in a Soulsborne game.
Tonight, Gerhman joins the hunt.
So yeah, he turns into the Grim Reaper if he was on some sort of steroids. His attacks are, well, I'll just show you the attacks. Yeah, this boss makes Allant's G Fuel addiction look like something natural. Also, the lore behind this boss is just sad because it turns out he doesn't want to fight you at all. He just wants to set you free and by you refusing, he has no choice but to fight you. But the thing is, if you win this fight, you get the game's second ending, which you get paralysis and take Gerhman's place, because stem cell treatment was too expensive for you. Oh yeah, he has a few phases too, which are Scythe only, and Scythe and Gun. Luckily, he doesn't have wings or anything glowing off of him while the fight is on. Never mind, I was wrong. But while he's in his Scythe and Gun phase, he actually gains the arcane ability to parry you, something that not many bosses in the game can actually do to you. So it suggests that it's gotten so bad for his problem with not being able to free you, that he's using your own attack against you. His lore is, and how the character is projected is... Oh wait, I forgot to mention something. The environment in this fight is perfect. A burning cathedral in the distance while you're fighting him in a field of white flowers, and his music, which emphasizes on the fact that he doesn't want to fight you because the music is monotone and can go into my depressed playlist. From Software really did nail this one. And that, my friends, is my top 5 great bosses. This was just a few bosses that I picked out. These aren't like the top 5 bosses, to be honest. This is just like 5 bosses that I picked out that I thought were really good, and I just put them in a video. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I hope you have a good rest of the day. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.